After finishing in Burgos yesterday, the riders stayed here overnight and the stage starts again here today.
The beginning of the 186.5 kilometers towards the finish line on Alto de Peña Cabarga are relatively soft, and the first 75 kilometers won't trouble anyone. The final 110 kilometers include no less than 4 categorized climbs, and the first one, Alto de Burgos, starts after 75.3 kilometers. Only 3 k's long, this is not a tough climb. With an average gradient of 6.6%, the Alto de Burgos will serve as an appetizer for what's about to come. The first intermediate sprint is located in Espinosa de los Monteros after 90 kilometers, and right after this, the peloton enters the feed zone. The second climb of the day is Alto Estacas de Troba. It's 10.9 kilometers long, with an average gradient of just 3.2%. The GC riders won't have any problems staying near the front. The descent from Alto Estacas de Troba is about 15 kilometers long, and coming down, the riders take on the next climb right away. The 6.1 kilometers towards the top of Puerta de la Braguilla have an average gradient of 6.3%, and a strong team could really do some damage in the peloton if they decided to go hard already. Especially because the penultimate climb of the day, the Alto de Carasol, starts right after the descent from Puerta de la Braguilla. The roadbook has the average gradient set to 5.6%, but it's mostly because of the small descent after the first couple of kilometers. In fact, there are steep parts of 10% several times during the 10.6 k's towards the top. There are still 40 kilometers to go from the top though, and even though many may have been dropped, we should see a rather large group reaching the final ascent up to Peña Cabarga. 5.9 kilometers towards the finish line may not sound like much, but with an average gradient of 9.2%, this will make a big impact on the overall classification. There are parts of 20% in the final kilometre, and this will suit a rider like Joaquim Rodriguez.
The Spanish climber won on Peña Cabarga in 2010 in front of the winner of that year's race, Vincenzo Nibali. In 2011, Chris Froome won the stage in front of the winner of that year's race, Juan Jose Cobo. Therefore, maybe it's a good omen if you finish second on today's stage.
The general classification favourites and the stages on which they're likely to show their cars, but it is worth noting there are some flat stages at this year's Tour of Spain, 6 to be precise. Now the best sprinters in the world have